Hey everybody, I'm First Warren 5 Meteorologist Warren Sears. I hope you're having a great Friday so far. Definitely some large wet snowflakes out there for pretty much everybody as we get into the lunch hour and the early afternoon as well. We're going to do a little update here on our two different systems we're watching, the one that's rolling through right now as we speak, and then the likelihood of a larger storm system early next week. That we did go ahead and upgrade to a First Warn weather day. So we'll talk through kind of all that here in the next few minutes. We'll keep this short and sweet so you guys can get on with your afternoon, but just wanted to give you an update on kind of what we're seeing out there for today. So let's take a look outside right now. This is over the River Market with your Aetna First Warn weather camera. Definitely quite the snow globe out there for sure. We do have temperatures right above that freezing mark. So that is why a lot of this is melting on contact with the ground. Still, though, some slushy spots on the table. We need to watch out, especially as we get later on this evening, for a little bit of slick travel. But I do think for the most part this afternoon that we should be all right. Just some wet roadways, accumulations mainly kind of on the elevated and grassy surfaces here over the next few hours. And throughout all this, if you want to send us your reports or any pictures that you have from your neighborhood or what you're seeing out there, that would be great. We would love to see what you have going on in your neighborhood. I don't think that this is going to accumulate more than, again, a dusting to maybe an inch in some spots. So let's get it right on into it. So this first wave that we have today is the first of two storm systems. We've been talking about this for many days, so it's nice to see finally panning out. We do have some afternoon snow showers off and on. With those temperatures right at or above the freezing mark, it's going to be those large wet snowflakes, only minor accumulations, but this will last into the evening. So if you do have any of those outdoor plans or just heading to dinner, things like that, just give yourself a little extra time here and through the rest of your day today and into the early overnight. Monday and Tuesday, though, as I mentioned just a minute ago, we did elevate to a First Warn weather day. That just means that our confidence is growing, that we will likely see some winter storm type impacts with that next system. My confidence is growing in the timing of that system, and then also the travel impact concerns with that system as well. So that's just that next elevated category that we want to keep you extra aware of. We need to be extra cautious out there Monday and Tuesday. We could have higher snowfall totals with that system specifically to start early next week. So with that First Warn weather day, we do have anywhere between a couple inches of snow possible out there, maybe even some of our models suggesting maybe even a little bit more. Right now, it's just a little bit too early to throw out a whole lot of numbers to you, but we are watching the potential for accumulation. Likely a rain-snow mix to start the day will give way to more snow later in the afternoon on Monday. So I think if I would have to pinpoint a time frame that I'm a little bit more concerned about travel, it would be Monday afternoon, evening, and then into the early overnight. This should move out early Tuesday morning. So this is definitely a pretty active next few days that we have here in the region. Right now, let's take you out of satellite and radar here. You can see kind of a broken, smaller system that's starting to come through, but the deeper blue shades you see out there are some pockets of that heavier wet snow. So if you look closely at the metro right now, I'll actually zoom in a little bit here. We do have a heavy band coming in through the southern 435 loop, and this is going to continue from south to north. So I do expect some of that reduced visibility, wet snow to be falling here for many hours ahead here throughout this afternoon. And I'll show you our forecast track here. So you do see maybe a little bit of wintry mix at times just because, again, above freezing, just barely. So this is going to last in through the heart of the evening, but the closer you get to midnight, this will start to taper off and push off to the east. On Saturday, likely just mostly cloudy. Into the afternoon, same thing. A quick little disturbance comes through that might give you a few flurries. Nothing measurable with that, though. And then, excuse me, we'll have a mostly dry afternoon as well. So today's snowfall forecast is in that trace to 1 inch range. I do think it'll be hard to measure just because a lot of it is melting on contact with the ground, but it's also melting, even in your grassy surfaces. So before you're able to measure it, even that bottom layer is probably slowly starting to eat away. But still, nonetheless, could have some minor totals out there with this one. Once we get into Monday and Tuesday, our confidence again grows for a much larger storm system. This is likely going to span across many states out there. I do think we'll have a mostly dry start to our Monday, and then again, just warm enough with that next system too to have some rain, some snow mixing in, wet snow. So that's going to be hard to pinpoint totals as well with that system on Monday and Tuesday, just because of the slightly warmer ground that we have in place. So expect initial melting. Eventually, though, I do think there'll be a transition period to mostly snow throughout the afternoon and evening on Monday, and this will likely accumulate a little bit more. Still, roadways will probably be more wet, then turning kind of slushy. And then the cooler we get, obviously, the better the chance for some accumulation on those roadways. Now, this is one specific model's take. This is over 3 days away still. This storm system is off the coast of Alaska right now. It's still way out. So this will change. This storm could shift a little more to the north. It could shift a little more to the south, and that will have huge impacts on if we see a little bit more rain versus a little bit more snow. So once we get into our Monday evening, I do think finally everyone sees mostly snow with this. And then early Tuesday morning, the system pulls to the east pretty quick. But on the back edge, windy conditions for Tuesday, really afternoon and into the evening. So here is my snow potential map. Up to an inch, my confidence is high. I do think that that's a good likelihood of seeing at least an inch of snow with the Monday and Tuesday storm. The 1 to 3 inch range, confidence not as high, a little bit more on the medium scale. And then anything larger than that, right now, we're going to keep on a lower confidence. But I think a couple inches with the storm system is possible for sure. I know I've already had a lot of questions about schools closing and snow days, things like that. It's just really tough to nail that down this early out. But I will say, I think the morning commute will be fine. I think if anything, it would be more of a rain-snow mix. Now, the afternoon and evening is what I have at least my attention on a little bit more. I think that's the time frame that we could start to see a little bit more of roadway impacts, things like that. So, we'll keep a close eye on that, obviously, for sure, for any sort of shifts and changes. And I'm sure school districts will be watching closely this weekend as well for what they should do Monday. And then even into Tuesday morning could have some slick spots on area roads. So not saying there's no chance of a snow day, but I'm also not going to guarantee anything. But I do think we'll have some at least accumulation out there for sure. So that kind of wraps up what I had in mind for just giving you a little update here this afternoon, Friday afternoon, before you get your evening started. Again, 2 different systems that we're watching. I'll show you radar one more time here, show you what we have going on. We do have a couple of different broken bands of wet snow out there as we speak. I've been checking the CanDrive cameras, which is a really cool site to go. It's all of the traffic cameras, the scout cameras around the metro. You can even look out in the western Kansas. Missouri has a similar setup. So if you want to just go check on their system of network of cameras around interstates, things like that, you can do that real time. It's really fun to watch and see kind of how things are shaking out. But for the most part, I've been seeing roadways just wet right now. Bridges and overpasses, though, that's where you'll want to exercise a little bit more caution out there today. And then grassy surfaces have some minor accumulations as of right now. So this is going to continue off and on and through your Friday evening. It really looks beautiful out there for sure. And definitely not as big of travel impacts as potentially next week. All right, well, I'm here all evening, and then again this weekend into the evenings as well. Meteorologist Savannah Tennyson is here in the mornings the next 2 days, so we'll keep you covered on this as we get a little bit closer to that next storm system next week. But until we talk again, have a great Friday.